This is Dennis Michelsen. It's time to go down on the farm and give you another update about this great product for our friends at Agricen that you can find out more about at your local Nutrient Ag Solutions location. It's Terramar, and joining us again, our good friend Scott Lay. Scott, great to have you back.
Dennis, always a pleasure to be with you and your listeners, and it's a greater pleasure as we record this to do so after a nice rain across the Midwest.
And Scott, I think we're getting a chance with this long duration of dry weather that we had during this growing season. We're getting a great chance to see just how much Terramar is helping reduce some of that drought stress we saw.
Terramar, while it is a new product to the Midwest and row crops, more importantly, it's a new practice. We now have a technology available to us in our arsenal that will help not eliminate stress, of course, but minimize it. And that, for sure, in the last 30 days, across a wide growing region of the Midwest and row crops, we've seen about every kind of stress Mother Nature can throw at us.
This product is all about standing up to stress. And even in a perfect year, Scott, we live here in central Illinois where we get these hot, muggy nights, and that's another very stressful environment for the corn plant.
We know that if the nighttime low does not get below 70 degrees, that's a bad day for the corn plant. That impacts yield. We also know that our Terramar product, which is a combination of the stress-reducing, biologically extracted kelp material and a carbon component, we know from our replicated studies that we're able to minimize or decrease the crop canopy temperature by a measure of 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit for a period of 3 to 4 weeks. And again, that's not going to eliminate the negative impact of warm, hot temperatures, but it sure takes a bite out of it.
In corn, we know how we've put stress on the plant with the lack of rain that we had. But I'm more worried about the soybeans because when I see the soybeans, they just really have not grown a whole lot yet. And we're getting to that key time. How is the Terramar product working on soybeans this year across the Midwest?
Again, as I say often, regardless of zip code, regardless of crop, minimizing heat and drought stress while increasing the amount of nutrients that the carbon component can bring into that plant is a good transaction. With respect to soybeans specifically, we're entering a critical stage, and that is in the reproductive stages. That's when 90%, I'll repeat that, 90% of all nutrients are consumed by the plant. That's when yield's determined. It's now in the next 30 days. And again, we can't control what Mother Nature brings our way in terms of precipitation, but if we can increase the amount of nutrients flowing into that plant by virtue of stimulating that plant with our Terramar product, we've got a better chance to preserve yield potential.
And whether it's corn or soybeans, Scott, you guys have done a lot of testing of this product on acres that, quite frankly, are more susceptible to drought than we usually see here in central Illinois.
When we started to look at this, our colleagues in western Nebraska and western Kansas, eastern Colorado, on tough crops like grain sorghum and dry lion corn in those environments, early on in 2020, quickly we started to detect not only a yield impact, a positive yield impact that was very astonishing, but also just better plant health that maintained throughout the growing season. And we knew at that point we needed to get this across the Midwest and corn and soybean growing areas so we can get a better look at this product. We've done that over the last couple of years, and as a result of that, this year we'll approach 2 to 2.5 million acres treated with Terramar in really the first year of commercial introduction.
And Scott, I understand this product is working good as a tank mix companion with a lot of different materials. So whether early in the season you're adding it in as you're doing a little extra fertilizer run, or when you're applying a fungicide, the Terramar is playing well with other products, so it's not another run across the field.
That's correct. And again, as we look out the windshield over the month of July, any farmer, corn, soybeans, cotton, is looking to preserve yield potential. Fungicides are a key part of that equation. If you can maintain plant health and minimize the potential for disease, that's important. we believe, and we know from our past research over the last couple of years, when we're able to pair Terramar and the impact, the favorable impact that it has in terms of minimizing the effect of drought and heat, and again, continue to pull more nutrients into that plant as a result of the carbon component, we believe that's a 1 + 1 = something greater than 2 equation.
It's more than just one part of this Terramar that is bringing the benefits.
It is. Again, stress mitigation over the recent weather circumstances, it's visibly apparent. Pineapple like corn plant versus a more healthy, robust one, and that's a result of the kelp component reducing the stress. That's the easy part to see. The part that perhaps may not be as visible, but I think is equally as important in terms of contributing to a result, is the carbon component. We know that plants enjoy carbon, and when in abundant supply, that carbon provides energy, needed energy that produces a more robust root system. And it goes without saying, a more robust root system that is able to extract or pull more water and nutrients into the plant. That's a great equation, and oftentimes leads to a more consistent yield result.
Whether it's corn or soybeans, Terramar can help you stand up to stress. Find out more about this product and all of the other Agricen products at your local Nutrient Ag Solutions location. Mr. Scott Lay, thank you so much for going down on the farm with us today.